Hello, and welcome to the final part of the puzzle pathfinding series. Where are we? In this part, we'll be trying to finish everything off, and finish off the puzzles and whatnot, and that'll be it for the project. So we're going to start off with quickly playing what we have thus far. So we have our characters that we can select, and we can move our camera, and then there's some puzzles that work. Of course, not all of them work yet, because this is what we'll be doing today. This is the little puzzle that we'll be just running for this game. I decided that there's no point adding too much for it, as the game is very simple. So let's open up some scripts, see what we need to add, and I'll quickly explain what we plan to do. So for puzzles, we will be accepting two sets of triggers that will open everything. They'll be either the blocks or characters. So we need to modify the puzzle script a little bit, which will allow us to move the objects. So where are we? So our tag is currently unit, but what we're going to do is add another tag, and we're going to call it object. That's a very weird name. And we'll attach the object tag to the object where there's two of them. And in our on trigger, we'll do the unit or other dot transform dot tag is equal to object. There we go. So now let's just give this a try and test the project out. So we know it's going to work fine if we drop these guys in, but let's drop in the cube. I think we'll just have to actually do it with a player. Where are we? So we modified this script. Does this cube have a script? It does have the script. On trigger enter other, and let's just do debug.log other.trans, and let's just check other.transform.name, just to double check if we have it or not. If it's colliding with our little cube. Now let's go into the scene view and just drag it across. There you go. So we do manage to move into it, but it's not completing the puzzle, and I presume that's because we didn't set up the second puzzle correctly. Yeah, we didn't do that. So we just need to put a single puzzle in. Now let's have a look at the first puzzle. So the first puzzle has agents to control gate, which is fine. That should be good enough. So let's give this a play. Let's now test this one more time by dragging this in. But we do get the call, but we don't get this to proc, which is weird. Which is very weird. Okay, let's try doing this with a player for now. Maybe it's just the puzzle not being set up properly. So let's set one player here, one player here, one player there. Come on. So this is what should happen. Oh, okay, we get a first error, which is great. So first puzzle, agents 0. Where are we? Oh, no, that should be a 0 here. That's because our first puzzle doesn't have any more agents anymore. It used to have them, but we've removed them and moved them somewhere else within the puzzle world. So this one enables, the door opens, and I press on scale. Okay, now let's try entering with just our agent. Okay, so it does turn on, but it doesn't open the correct gate. Now, let's pick up an item. And let's just actually drop it right out. Let's actually, no. So we do get the correct puzzle trigger. Well, actually, but the puzzle parenting is not working properly. So I presume maybe that's an issue with how the parent is set up. How do we look for the parent? So get components in parent. So that should technically be correct. Let's debug this out by making it invisible. And now let's look at the puzzle script. So how? Okay, so do we have the index? We do have the index. Okay, one more test. Now we all see better what's happening. It's interesting. So let's select the second puzzle. So now the second puzzle has only one thing that does, and this should now increase. It does increase, which means that this section of the code is right. But then, does it check for the completed puzzle? I don't think so. Mm, so we did have this to happen. We ran through this. We definitely added it. Where are we? We definitely added it, and then puzzle triggers.count. Let's just do a quick debug.log puzzle triggers.count. And but before I press anything, yeah, it did add it to 1. And what does complete puzzle do? Exit gate. What is the exit gate? It's this object here. Is it the same as the one over there? Yes, it should be. So it should. Oh, I just disabled. What's this? Oh, okay. So the puzzle itself actually worked all this time. This is the area that was supposed to be blocked off by the third puzzle. Okay, so at least now we know it works correctly. So let's do the drop again. So we run this code here, but does it? Oh, I believe object should be capitalized. There we go. So that should be second puzzle working correctly. There you go. But you can keep the object, which is not ideal. So that will be something we'll be. Oh, because we're actually lacking this piece of code in here as well. What we should actually also do is check if they're still in the vicinity of the cube, but I think that should be good enough for now. So this opens it, and then we will have a player that will go and trigger this one. So let's just cheat a little bit. Well, and just play it as it was, as it would have been. So we trigger it here, and we get an error. So this is the puzzle 3 that's having issues, and that's because there is one agent too many to be triggered. But this does trigger the agent correctly. And then we just need to make sure that the correct gate is actually set for this puzzle, which is that one. So now everything should be in theory correct. So let's play the game one more time. Pum, pum. Let's pick up this. I need to make them have a little bit more speed. So we want to just dunk it in here. There we go. And then we're just going to go over to this little platform in here. which enables this guy, but of course that still gives us an error. Why does, oh, what? Oh, because I changed it in the play mode. Silly me. Okay, one more time. Guys, go. You're gonna go there, and you're gonna go there. Go, go, go. Quick, 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 quick. You guys are too slow. Just stop here. Let go of that. Pop the final guy so I can select him. There you go. Oh, and we're still getting an error. But am I really? Okay. So, new agent is this. Why would this be empty? Okay, let's double check everything. So it's this guy, and this guy is who? It's this guy. Why are you not working, little guy? And then what does agent.setActive mean? Okay, whatever. We can actually play with this error, which is actually the most important part. We'll be fixing that error in a minute. So for the last puzzle, we pick up the object, and what we do is we go. Can we go up the stairs? We can. And I believe we have to. Oh. Yeah, that's essentially. Oh, that was. This ended up being so weird. So one thing I'm gonna do is the object has to have no collision when it's being picked up by a player. So that's something we're just gonna do real quick. Also, I'm confused with the path colors. I don't know why I colored everything like this. It's just so confusing to look at. So let's change that. Now this looks better. I think that should be easier to understand. Maybe lower down the walls a little bit, especially this one here, so we can see better what's happening. What? How? Why is there two walls? There you go. So that's done. Then now let's have a look at all the units. So unit number 3, he has everything selected. And let's check out the third puzzle. So we have the unit, which is the unit 3. We have the puzzle trigger, which is this trigger here. And it says that it's not getting a reference to a component, which is kind of weird, but let's just do .get component, agent controller, just to double check if it works, and then .set new active, and then bool true, because he is active. So with that, this is done, and now let's open up the cube, which is the item one. So what we really need to do is we need to have a reference to the collider, although we have 2 colliders. So how will we find the specific one that we want? So what I'm going to do instead is, for this collider, I'm going to copy component, and I'm going to create an, where are we? I probably should make these a prefab actually. So let's go into prefabs. Let's grab a cube. Let's delete this cube here. And now let's grab this cube, duplicate it, just move it down here into the last puzzle slot. Now that we have the cube done, all we have to do is, I'm going to open up the prefab asset. I'll create an empty game object right inside of it, and this is going to be the control collision, like so. And we'll copy this component, and we'll remove this component. And with this, we will now paste component as new, like this. So we do have our controllable one. And what we'll do now is we will just get reference to this. So we'll do serialize field private and we'll have a box collider, and this is going to be the trigger collider. Well, not really trigger. This is going to be the hard collision. And what's going to happen is when we set up everything, we will set hard collision dot, and that's going to be is triggered to false. However, when it gets picked up by the player, it will be set to true. And then where's the race reset? And then of course when we are going to be resetting it, we'll just set this to false again, like so. Or in fact, rather than doing that, we can just disable the entire object. So rather than playing with triggers, we can do dot is, so enabled is equal to true, and then true, and then in here just set it to false. That'll be probably better, rather because we don't need two colliders at any given time. So with this done, let's give this a test to see if it's not going to disappear anywhere. Oh, we didn't assign it to our object, did we? So let's open it up again, and in here, just add it into the collision. Now let's press play. So now if we look up, the cube is there as it should be. Let's move them around. Let's grab the item. Also, no. I know that once you trigger them, that you don't have to de-trigger them again. So technically, these guys could go away, but we're just gonna leave it as this for now. I mean, it doesn't matter really. So now let's go, and so now there should be. Wait, actually, let's click on a very specific cube. Oh, we are getting an error. So what's our error? Oh, it's the puzzle error. Why are we still getting that? So weird. So now if we go here, we see that this has not been modified in the slightest, even though we're holding it. Interesting. Actually, another thing we want to do in item is just, where are we? Let me just do one more thing. I'm going to change this to false and see how that's going to react. For our colliders, interesting. So it's not actually disabling the object as I thought it would. So rather than doing this, I'll do dot game object dot set if, and I'm just going to turn off the game object. So true, true, and finally, where are we? False. Now this we will actually, where are we? Where do we set the position? Parent, parent, parent. So this section should be actually added to the update, just in case it dislodges itself. So what we do want to do is, if held item is not null, then we kind of just want to keep updating its position. So held item, there we go. So these guys just going to go in here. And we don't actually need to do, well, actually, let's do them real quick first, and then just keep doing an update. So that will prevent it from swaying from left to right like it did before. Now, I want to fix the puzzle 3 while we're at it. So for now, I'm just going to disable the gate altogether, and then I'll manually assign the correct one just to see why it's happening, because I actually don't understand it, because it shouldn't be happening. Okay, let's grab this. Let's get this. Okay, let's see the pickups. So I drop it, it drops. I pick it up, it's fine. So the collision is being, well, actually, where is the collision in? Oh, we didn't get the error at least. Where is it? Player, cube. So let's open up, and this is not doing the code, is it? Oh, he did drop it through. That's so interesting. But let's make a new cube and just play around with it at the start. It's going to be easier than what we're trying to achieve. So the cube is here. We drop it, and he's picking up straight away. So now we have slightly more problems than we did actually. Nope, it's fine. Sometimes we do get that double, what's it called? A double hold. So in fact, we should just have a little delay on it being able to be picked up. So rather than using on trigger enter, exit, I mean, we should make this a function which is an IE numerator instead. So let's do this last thing that we're going to do. Notepad, let's just make that a quick note. So set picking dropping as an IE numerator, so player doesn't glitch pick and drop automatically. Like this? No, let's go. Actually, no, you guys go there. Ah, where are we? There you go. Okay, let's pick it up. Oh, that's right. I didn't even fix the bug, did I? Where are we? This guy. Puzzle 3. Actually, to make life easier, rather than constantly having to redo the puzzle, we'll just redo that very specific bit. I'll just make everything easier. And then we're just going to remove that guy at the end. So for this, we need this agent here. So agent 3 for puzzle 3. So we've attached the agent through. And now if we go into the puzzle, we don't need to get a component. You just need to set this up. So let's select agent 3 to see what is enabled on start and what is not enabled. And then we'll see what the problems are. So so navmesh agent is disabled, which is fine because he ain't moving. Yeah, let's cheese through this and just go up. And now we get this. What is not set to a reference? They are. That's the biggest problem. They are. Okay. Puzzle 3. To be honest, that could have been just this could have been the problem. Sometimes they just keep references of things that don't exist anymore. And that could be just a silly Unity glitch. So let's try it one last time. If not, I'll just make an if statement to fix this problem. And that will just double check everything. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was just like I thought it was. Because it was serializable, it was keeping instance of the old thing that no longer existed. Also, the flag appears underneath the ground, so let's just add that. The flag spawns below the surface area when it is on a slope, which is something we'll be tackling soon. And now let's let go of that. So we successfully managed to put it down here, but what we probably didn't do is attach any code to it. So let's add the puzzle trigger in here. And just like with the other ones, what do we need? So we need the puzzle parent, which is puzzle number 4. Actually, we don't need to attach the puzzle parent. That was just for us to check if it's working or not. So we can remove that entirely. And if we go back to the puzzle, we click on it and we will attach 2 colors. Which color is which though? So we start with 0. That means 0 is green, right? Yeah, no, 0 is red. Where are we? So, oh yeah, because by default it's 0. Now that we have this, just set this to null, like this. Now there's still some debugs somewhere. I don't need these debugs anymore. So let's get rid of them as well. Get rid of these. And let's actually try to complete the... Actually, we don't have game over, do we? So let's add the quick game over script. In the game management, very short game, so little script. So game finish. So for game finish, all we are going to do is just add a trigger. That will of course change the color to green, just like with all the other examples. So we'll have a private renderer, and we'll just do rend, and we'll on start do, no, not actually on start. We will then have one single material, which will be, so that's going to be private material, and it's going to be completed level material. Nullify it. Actually, we do rend is equal to this dot component renderer, like so. And then we will have on trigger enter if other.gameObject.tag is equal to unit. We'll do rend dot material is equal to completed material, and then we'll also have a UI piece. So we'll go using Unity engine dot UI. We will have a text serialized field private text, and it's going to be game complete text, and we will just do game complete. Actually, we don't even need it to have the UI reference at all, because we can just change this to transform, and we'll do game complete text dot text, no, dot game object dot set active true. On start, we will set it to false instead, so we don't see it when we open the game. We will then add a private boolean is game over, and then of course it's gonna be false on start. And in here we will say is game over is equal to true, and that's all the setup. So this is a triggers game over when a unit walks into the collider. Presets all the start values like so. And then we'll finally add an update function, which will do if is game over. Then we will let the user quit the application. So we will do if input.get key down keycode space, then application quit, like so. So this will just turn the entire application off. So allows the user to end the application when the space key is pressed, like so. And now that we have this, we need to add another piece of UI to put into the end game trigger. Let's actually remove that spare unit that we have. So for the materials, we will be adding the green trigger. And now finally, in the canvas, we are just going to create a text component, which will be spanning across the canvas like this. We'll set it to best fit, put it in the middle as much as possible. I kind of want it to be bigger than it currently is. And we'll have game over press space to close the application. That'll be bigger. There we go. With this, we just go to the trigger, lock it in place, and then drag our text over. There we go, like so. And with this, the entire process of the game should work now as expected. Let's press this now and just give this. Oh, actually, we have another thing that needs to be deleted off the page. Oh yeah, so let's go flag on a slope. So let's fix the flag and the slope. We'll do this by going into the player input controller, and let's see how the flag gets placed in the first place. Oh, I think I just crashed Unity by dragging this in and out. I mean, not Unity, Visual Studios. Sorry for this. I had something urgent I had to look at. Okay, so we have this. Now let's open everything again. Oh, what's the other problem? Oh yeah, the enter exit can be cheesed. There is little commenting I see, which is something that I'll be working on. Okay, so flag. So is the flag set up on the agent or is it set up destination flag? Okay. So this is walkable. This is walkable. Oh, interesting. Why are they not layered? So this should fix the flag. For a quick test, I'm just going to copy one of the starting units and just give this a quick try to see if the flag is going to be properly positioned. So we can see the flag. It's still a little bit under. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's fine. It's like this everywhere. Although I feel like we should slightly put the flag higher. So what I'll just do is destination flag dot transform dot position is equal to new vector 3, and we're just going to keep. So what we will do is we'll keep the x. We're going to modify the y. So we'll do plus 0.25f, let's just say, and we'll keep the z as well. And just give it a quick have a look and see if it's alright or not. Let's have a look. So it looks slightly better on these. How long is the flag anyway? something I want to know. Okay, yeah. So the problem with the current flag is that it centers it, so it just makes it appear by the center point. I think 1 would even be a better choice. Yeah, it looks way better now. Let's try it on here. Yeah, it's way more visible. So we're gonna keep it as this. It's looks like the more reasonable solution. So it wasn't a slope actually problem. It was just how it worked by default. The entering and exit, I guess. Well, no, let's do this one now because they're kind of like intertwined to an extent. So let's do this first. So rather than doing on trigger exit, we will be doing the IE numerator on the item. So what we need is the point where we click, and we click here. Wait, so what do? We do item icon dot drop item. Where are we? So is there a drop function within R? There isn't. So what we are going to do is we're going to add a drop function here. So we have pick. We'll add a drop public void drop item. And where are we? Okay, so all of this we will move to the player. So holding parent dot drop item, we will just call it this instead. And all of these guys will disappear from here. And that will be a logic that we will call in the player. Of course, this will be changed slightly. So firstly, we will nullify this. We will do this. We'll do this. And we'll do this. And we'll do this. So this sets up the position. So sets position and parenting. And what we'll also add is just a boolean in here, which will check whenever or not we can pick something up again. So we'll do private bool can pick another item is equal to true. So by default, we will have it as true. And to put simply, when we run the pickup, we set it to false, like this. And then here, we'll just do a private IE enumerator. So drops the item from the player. Now, let's have a look at the item to see what it does. So this, we can keep it as this. That's fine. But here we'll do a private IE enumerator. And this is the drop sequence reset. So basically, we will only turn this back to true after a while here. So we'll do yield return new, wait for seconds, and we'll just put like a second of wait. And only then we will run this piece of code. So we'll do a drop sequence reset and, well, no. Start coroutine, drop sequence reset, like this, and that gets set to true. Of course, we can't drop if there is no item, which is already fine, so that will never be called if we just keep clicking, or will it? I'm actually not sure anymore. This doesn't have to be visible anymore. Yeah, so this only does it if we do have the item in the first place, so that's fine. But now what we have to make sure is that we can't pick it up based on this boolean. So if we go into item, we have the on trigger enter. And then what we'll also do is well, no, actually inside of here, we'll do if. So we're going to move this line all the way up like this. And then we'll do if parent object to use dot, and this is where we're going to use this can pick up another item. Oh, I'm not doing it properly, am I? Where is it? And we only want to get it. So if can pick another is equal to true, so only then we can run all of that code, because otherwise the agent doesn't want to pick it up, and we're not going to force him to do it. So that will smooth out the pickup interaction. So now let's quickly just test everything one last time. Well, not really last time, but let's test up the items for now. So pick it, and then I press to drop it, and that's fine. There's no issues with the pickup. There we go. We can pick it up again. So ideally what we want to do is we want to go here, we want to drop it. But now, of course, oh, we actually did make it disappear. So one thing we're going to do is the disappearance, I'll just quickly fix. But so what happens is the collision didn't reset itself in time. So I would say let's remove the hard collision, because we are already adjusting the position on the player. That can still give us some funky responses, but I think that should be good enough anyway for this. And now let's make sure the triggering works properly, so we can't cheese with the amount of players that we have. So once the gate opens, we essentially can just do this, right? And what we should really do is we should reactivate the puzzle every time that happens. So if we just go to the puzzle key, we want to add or take away based on the completion, right? And completion gets called on the trigger in here. So let's close everything else. So there we go. So on trigger exit, there we go. So we do actually put is completed. Close this. And then else, we're just going to add an else statement here. We'll just do this like so. And with this, we no longer have that issue of puzzle not triggering as it should be. So now let's give this a try. Wait, what? No. What's the exit game? True. True, not false. I confused myself there. Okay. So let's give this a try. 1, 2, and let's go up. Maybe this will be the perfect run now. 1, 2. Wait. Go back. Oh. So he tries to leave. There you go. And the puzzle closes. So we do have to keep them in their appropriate slots. So here we're gonna grab our little cube, put it down, go in. Oh, we need to remove this guy. This guy shouldn't be there. Just gonna go there. Drop it. Ah, it fell. Okay. Yeah, so we can actually trigger it with our player. Can we trigger it here with the cube? Can you just look away this way? Oh, we can. Okay, so that's not something we want, obviously. We do want to use the ramp. So let's just make the guy go up again. Yeah, the trigger is slightly too big, isn't it? But that's okay. What matters is that this is not working properly. Uh, hello, I would like to pick you up again. Is it working in reverse for some reason? He just stole my cube. Um, that's so weird. Let's have a look at the last puzzle. Oh, the completion index is higher than what it should be, so that's strange. Um, so let's just do this. So that's because we added several times. So what we can only do it is um, bro, if completion index dot count is smaller than, and it's going to be smaller than puzzle triggers dot count. So the reason why we're doing this is so we don't add more than we can have, and we'll just do the reverse here. So if is higher than 0, because we don't want to go into a negative under any condition. So this will fix this problem. And now let's make the trigger not be triggerable by our little object in the incorrectly. So I presume the best thing to do would be, I'm just going to extend it for now. I'm going to go down. And rather than trying to figure out a way to fix it, we're just going to add the wall span all the way. There we go. That way there's no way to cheese it. I wanted to make it fall down on a platform, but since, yeah, since I kind of did it wrong, I'm just going to leave it as this. And let's check this final level with this guy here and then test the end game. And then we can get rid of this guy, and that's project complete for a little thing that this is. So let's go here, drop the item. That went really weird, extremely weird in that fact. So the cube flies, sometimes falls very strangely, especially off the surfaces. And I believe that's because we are setting up the rigid body before we unparent him, so he gets a little bit confused with physics. So let's go into the two sections. So that's going to be the controller, well, the agent controller, as well as the item itself. So for the agent controller, when do we do what? So when we drop the item, we do the position and we do the drop sequence. And in the item, what happens afterwards? Actually, while we're at it, just in case it does fly over the, so let's extend it there. Mm, where do we reset the oh, so we do use the untrigger exit. I think we can completely ignore the untrigger exit, and rather than using untrigger exit, we just get the reference to the held item. So we'll do held item dot get component, and we'll just look for item. It's actually held item reference to the item or just a game object? It's a game object, okay. So that's the right way to do it. And rather than having on trigger exit, we will just change this to a public void drop dropped object. So first we will reset the rigid bodies, and only after the reset we will call this script over here. And what does this do? It just sets the gravities and everything else. Is there anything else that we would need to reset? Oh, it should be fine. Oh, that drop object. This should be better. Okay, let's go to the final sequence. Now, let's try dropping the guy. Okay, so we have the exact same response as with on trigger exit, but it's should be way more fluid now. Although I'm still surprised as to why it just flies straight through. Does this not have any collision? It does have a mesh. Wait, how do you behave when you... Is the collision just too big? I'm so confused with this bit. Because it should just naturally slowly fall down. Maybe the gravity and kinematic changes are just too much for it. Oh. Let's just add a box collider. Remove the mesh corvex. Okay, maybe not. Let's make this slightly thicker. Where are we? That's weird. One. Okay, better. Whoop, whoop. Can I just get it? No. There we go. Okay. Anyway, let's just pick up the last object, give this one more try, and see how that's going to work. If it works, it works. We did what we wanted with this. We got... Go to the edge. There you go. It went through. It's down there. Now let's go through. There you go. And of course, Space will now quit the game, but there is no way to do that. So this is it for this Flow mini project. We'll be making something bigger, better next time. Yeah, next project is going to be big as this was really short. Mainly wanted to show how Unity's pathfinding works, and this is basically the bare bone. We're going to move into AIs in the future because I really like working with that kind of stuff. But that's it for this. It's the final version. Everything will be uploaded a week from now on to YouTube. So check it out there, and thanks for watching.